I'm so excited.
I just can't hide it.
I just want to burp again. What is going on? I know Breeny's probably thinking bare nasty.
We are family.
I'm blessed. I feel so happy.
I feel happy too.
I'm happy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I am with the amazing, the fabulous lady that is Breeny Lee. I'm so excited to have you on this side.
Thank you for having me.
She has come on today to kind of help me discuss what a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are constantly asking me. So just into, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video at the moment, but just in terms of, oh, thank you.
Get it together.
Oh my god, I'm see, this is why I need Breeny. Yeah, something that people are constantly asking me about, and that's, you know, having the confidence and the assurance in terms of your career, in terms of your career path, what you choose to do. And the other one as well is confidence and self-assurance in your faith. Knowing that, you know, your faith is strong, knowing how to get to a place where you feel like your faith is strong, whether you need to improve or whether or not you feel like you're as close to God as you used to be. Yeah, all these kind of things. So we'll be touching on quite a few different things. I did ask you guys to send questions, some of which I've already opened, some of which I haven't. We will try to kind of touch upon them. If not, then I'm so sorry, but I will reply to you on Snapchat anyway, regardless, okay? So I think the first thing I wanted to ask Breeny was in terms of confidence and kind of being sure that you were doing the right thing.
As in now.
As in your career now. In fact, just in case people don't really know, tell us like in terms of your career, like what would you say?
My career?
What do you do, girl? What
I do is, okay, so I'm a digital content creator, I'm an influencer, I create content, I'm a blogger, whatever you call it. I basically just make online content for your viewing pleasure, like we're doing right now. I basically stumbled across this was not my ultimate plan in life. For so many years I wanted to be a designer, a fashion designer. I went to school, I studied fashion design at one of the best colleges in the world, London College of Fashion, and during it I was just like, yeah, I don't think I really want to do this anymore. I don't want to be behind the scenes, I want to be in front of the scenes. So sometimes I'll go to university and I'll be wearing my heels and stuff, and other people are, everyone in my class is super casual, like they don't care about what you look like, they just care about getting their work done. So I used to be the opposite. I didn't care about getting the work done, I cared about what I looked like. So ultimately that's when I kind of found what I actually enjoyed doing. So for me it was all about image, it was all about improvement, it was all about style. And I found that along the journey. I didn't know that this was the career that I wanted to do. I thought I was going to be I also was a model as well. I was a model slash designer, and a model slash designer turned to just a blogger, because in blogging you basically get to do all of it all in one as well. And even if I wanted to have my own clothing line somewhere down in the future, I know how to sell clothes, I know how to market clothes, so it all kind of goes into one. But these are kind of, I feel like my job is kind of created, as opposed to like, I mean, it's kind of well known, everyone knows what a blogger is now, but before it wasn't really, it wasn't a career. Breeny, like I know that you were one of the originals, because even, you know, watching what you guys were doing, especially even in terms of the vlogging world, you came at a time where it wasn't as like now, you know, like most people want to do YouTube, which I don't know. I feel like if you want to do it, do it. Like, just do it, go for it. Hurry up though.
Because people are doing, and you're just sitting there. So, but yeah, like, you were one of the originals, one of the people that really threw yourself out there and showed that kind of confidence. So how would you say you started? Because that's a lot of the questions I always get. Getting started. I always get that question. Getting started. I want to do this, but I don't know how to start, where to start, who to talk to, all of these questions.
You gotta just be like Nike and just do it. Like, there's no right way, there's no right time, there's no right way. You just gotta do it, because procrastination is a biatch. Procrastination will stop you, or kill your dreams, or stop you from doing the thing that you really want to do, because you're like, oh, but I want to do this, but what will my friends think, what will people think, what will my family think? I don't care. Don't care about what anyone else thinks. Just do it, and you have to do it. You have to do it first before you actually build up the momentum. Like, you just have to start. The only way you can do something is if you start it.
I think that's such a good point that you made. The fact of just doing it. I always get the question of, where do you start? I want to blog, I want to do this, I've got this idea, I want to start this business, I don't know where to start. Really and truly, I know it sounds like very blasé, and it sounds very simple, but you do just have to get yourself out there and do it. You know, no one will get to know who you are or know your brand if you're not putting yourself out there. You know, you can't hide behind the scenes and then expect things to happen, or just not do anything and sit there and just imagine it and for things to happen. That doesn't work. You know, you have to put yourself out there. You just have to start, whether it be blogging. So for example, start up a blog. It doesn't have to necessarily be the most amazing thing at the beginning, because one thing that I've learned with myself, so just in case you don't know, so I'm a full-time student, I'm studying at the moment. Aside from that as well, I'm also I do YouTube, as you can tell. Aside from that, I do presenting, I do hosting, I dabble in loads of different things basically. And you know, again, people ask me the question, so how did you get started? I just did. I literally just did. I knew that, you know, oh, radio was something that I was maybe interested in. So I thought, okay, just go for it. I just have to go for it and I have to do it. And from then, it's like now I'm starting to see, I'm only just touching the door of things coming to me. And all of a sudden, like, you know, opportunities are coming. I was like, really? You guys want to work with me? Like, damn, I don't mind. But I had to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. And we're living in a society where you can basically create whatever the hell you want. Just get an Instagram. Just start with that. Start with Instagram, start with Twitter, start with a blog, start with whatever is out now, because we're living in a do-it-yourself generation. Just put the first seed in, put the first step on, put the first building block on, and then let's see where it goes. Sometimes the ideas don't work, but if you have ideas and if you're very creative, just start one thing. Even if you start 3-4 things at the same time, just see which one you actually really love and are invested in, and continue with that. There's nothing wrong with throwing all the darts at once, do you know what I mean? And seeing where it lands, because like I said, I started off wanting to do modelling, and then I wanted to be a designer. I didn't think that all would blend into one. And I used to struggle before, because I used to be like, I don't want people to see me just a model. I don't want people to see me as a designer. I don't want people to see me as whatever. And I was thinking, I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. But because I feel like everything came together how it was supposed to in the right time, which is where I see myself now. When Nissy asked me before, is hair, what did you ask me?
Oh, that's what I asked you. I said, if you could go back, like, would you say that you'll still pick this career?
Because I didn't actually pick it. It just happened. It happened like that. And I think life just literally happens. You have one plan, but God has another plan, and
honestly,
your plans merge, they meet in the middle. Sometimes God's just like, no, forget that. That's what's going. But sometimes yours and God's plans merge in the middle, and it's like a common ground, and also God will use that to do his business, because there's your idea and then there's God's idea, and that has to become one idea.
That's one thing that I would definitely say, you know, the fact that how I see with myself anyway, is that everything that I'm doing revolves around God. It has to be something that I believe God is using me for. I believe that he so a lot of people feel like if you have a talent, you need to keep it in the church. I am the opposite, the complete opposite, because okay, we understand that the church is a place of, you know, of God, etc. But it's outside that people people need to be touched, people need to be saved. Therefore, what are you doing keeping that beautiful gift that God has given you just inside the church? You need to be going out there into the world and shining your talent so that he can use you.
And that's funny, because my church is all about that, going into the world, and there's only so much you can do in the church. But don't get us wrong, some people are called just to the church.
Of course. Some people,
most of us, majority of us are called to where we work. We're called to our families. We're called to wherever we go out, wherever we're going to the shop, wherever we're situated, we're called to that place. So it's like, everything's not in a church. You can, I mean, I'm in ministry in my church, but I'm also in ministry outside of my church, and it can both work. Do you know what I mean?
It definitely can. Now, one thing that you mentioned before was about how you didn't want to be a jack of all trades. One thing that I would say about our generation, especially with how digital media, social media, everything is moving. I used to be that person that used to say as well, I don't want to be the master of all trades, the jack of all trades, master of none. I want to make sure I specialize in something. Listen, the way that the world is moving, that is not the way to go.
And you know the quote that says the average millionaire has seven sources of income.
I always quote that 7 sources. That means that they're dabbling their fingers in loads of different pots to ensure that they're making enough money to live the lifestyle that they're living.
And but to say that I'm sure they mastered on one thing specifically, but what we're saying is that you're gonna need those other areas of interest, ideas in the future when you actually get to a place where you can actually materialize all of those ideas. Because most of the time, the only reason our ideas stay an idea is because we don't have the funds, we don't have the finances to actually continue to water that dream. So we have to pick one and we focus on that. But then once you become that person and you come to that stage, then you can actually start, because you have the money, you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, and you're able to start thinking like distributing it here and there. Do you know what I mean? But to have ideas is good. To be interested in more than one thing is a good thing. So never discourage that, because I know whenever you talk that. Sometimes when someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, I'm this. I used to cringe every time I tell someone. So sometimes I was like, depends on who you are, I'll say I'm a model or I'm a designer. I wouldn't say to someone, but it's, who cares?
Who cares? Do it. And do you know what? One thing that you also mentioned was about knowledge. Knowledge is so important. Be someone that is hungry to learn, because even, you know, at 30, at 50, at 100, you still don't know it all. You need to be, you know, learning from other people. That's how you grow, that's how you develop. And as somebody who maybe is a creative or somebody that wants to start something, that should be your aim. Your aim shouldn't just be like, yeah, I've got an idea, okay, yeah, I know it, I'm gonna do it on myself, that's it. You need to be able to learn from other places. So one piece of advice that I'll give you is, if you know, for example, that you want to, I don't know, I can speak for maybe like radio, people that want to get into radio. Surround yourself with people who either do it already or who know about the industry, and believe me, you will learn so much and it will allow you to grow and develop. I think even maybe at a faster pace than other people, because you've allowed yourself the time to, you know, soak up this knowledge and soak up this understanding.
What you said is what is good. Surround yourself around people, but unless you're already in the industry, it's really hard.
True.
Like sometimes you just have normal friends that have a 9-to-5 job. They're not creative. They work in finance. They work in business, and they have you don't have that circle. But what I would say is shadow people, get work experience, go with people that actually are in that field, because and even in the circle that you have now, it's good to talk. Sometimes when you go socializing, not every time dancing, not every time drinking, sometimes actually
have conversations.
Sometimes have conversations. You never know who you may meet. Not even in a work environment, just someone that knows someone that knows someone that has what you need. But if you don't talk to them, if you're just busy
every day, just like, shake leg,
no, shake body, no. Sometimes actually have a conversation.
Listen, guys, we could really talk about this forever, but I can see we've been talking for a little while. So I'm just gonna go into a different angle, something that loads of people have been asking me about. Balance. How do you balance everything just in life in general, and then especially not only that, but your relationship with God as well. So you have your career, you have whatever, and I think for myself, you know, I'm studying, all that kind of stuff, and then having a relationship with God. How do you balance everything?
Someone asked me that question last week. I went out with my friend and he was asking me the same question. God is the center, okay? God is the hub, okay? God is the hub. We're right here, yeah? This is my life. This is the air that I breathe. This is God. Like, this is my whole life. And then there's aspects that come out of it. There's family, there's church, there's business, there's idea, there's purpose, there's ministry. They all come out of that solid base. But this is the hub where everything starts. So without this, everything else falls out. It's all out of place. So you start here. And also, God has become so much part of my life that my religion is not separate from who I am. I am my religion. I am Christ. I am a Christian. That is my identity. That's everything. That's the foundation. That's the foundation. It's not I'm black, I'm female. I'm a Christian. That's my identity, and that's where everything comes out of. For me, that is the balance. As long as you remember God first and everything else afterwards.
And I think with myself, I would just again say the same thing. God is the center. It is the foundation. And like I'd mentioned before, you know, with me, well, I think you mentioned it actually, about all the decisions that you make stem from your faith in God, and knowing that, you know, as I'd mentioned before, about wanting to honor him and him to work through me, and wanting him to, you know, to use me. So if that's the foundation, that's the core, really and truly your faith, if that's number one, then really and truly you'll be able to find the balance, because that's your priority, your main priority. And the thing that I find as well is that when I'm good with God, everything else is just alive. But it's when I now start doing like, oh, maybe I'm not praying as much or whatever, or you know, I'm at a place where I'm falling away, because it happens, you know, people might not want to admit it, but it happens. You know, I have moments where me and God's my homie and we're tight and everything's great. But also, there's times in life where life happens, or you're going through stuff and you feel yourself distancing to God. I would say, if that's you right now, it does happen. One thing that I would say is He's just waiting for you. He's waiting for you to come back to Him. He's not going to deny you access. He's not going to turn you away. He's just waiting for you to come back. So, you know, just know that it's okay for that to happen, but as long as you are active. You know, I was explaining this to someone actually yesterday. Shout out to the girl, she's doing my hair, Beverly. Beverly, who was doing my hair yesterday, and I was just basically explaining to her, like, you know, having a relationship with God is like any other relationship. You've got to be active. You can't be passive and expect things to be okay. It's like having a boyfriend you don't talk to. How does that work? Your relationship will just fall flat. It doesn't work like that. So if you really want to make sure that your relationship with God is good, pursue God. Make sure you're at least making the effort to read and to do that kind of stuff. You have to have that pursuit, otherwise it doesn't work out. So I would just say, to go back in terms of balance, just make sure that God is center. If you're a person of faith, make sure God is center. If not, just make sure, like you said, prioritize and plan. One thing that I always try to do is plan. Trust me, I plan out my entire days. I know that sounds a bit control freak, but I have to, otherwise I'll go nuts. I'll go crazy, because there's so many things to get done,
and there's so many distractions as well.
So someone will call you and be like, oh, this is happening,
or your friend will stay on the phone for you for 3 hours, and you're like,
I'm not gonna lie, I can't, I've got to go. Whereas, you know, if you didn't have a list, you might just be like, oh yeah, whatever. But when you have a list, you're like, I've got this to do, I've got this to do, I've got this to do.
You're more diligent.
And exactly. So I would definitely say have a plan, have a list, especially, you know, it's a new year. Everyone has like their goals. Set goals for yourself. Set goals in realistic goals, time frames, okay? And I'll just say that's how you should kind of start, and then eventually you will discipline yourself anyway. And it becomes natural. Exactly. Okay, so now we're gonna go to some questions, because obviously I went on the Snapchat.
On the Snapchat?
Yeah, on the Snapchat.
That sounds so bad. I went on the Snapchat.
Does that sound fresh?
I went on the Snapchat.
Oh jeez. Anywho, so I went on to the Snapchat. I'm just gonna say the Snapchat, I don't care. I went on to the Snapchat and I asked you guys, obviously I'm gonna be filming with the wonderful Breeny Lee, and I asked you guys to ask any of your questions. So Anna Mary 951 said, hi girl, a question I'd love for you to answer is, how do you get the confidence? I'm a uni student, and because of my weight I can't do the things I really like. It's like when I'm in public I feel fat, and I look at the skinny girls and being among them is almost embarrassing. I want to lose weight, but the determination is not there. I feel like I will never be strong enough to get fit and healthier. Damn girl.
You said I will never be strong enough to get fit and healthier. Be careful what you're saying, and this is how that insecurity has come about, because of what you continuously keep on saying to yourself. You need to definitely change the way you look at it. Say that even though you don't have the motivation now, you will get fit, you will get healthier, you will lose the weight, because it is in your hand to do it. The power is all yours. But you have to make the choice, you have to make the sacrifice to do it. And if you want to feel better about yourself, then you have to do it. Like,
she hit the nail on the head right there. There we go. Anyway, next question. This one is from PS Love T, as in T-E-E-E-Y. So hey, hey hon, how did you start to build a relationship with God and remain consistent even when things are not going right? Do you have any tips on how you became close with God and how you've managed to stay so connected to Him during your struggles? Very, very, very good question. Do you want to start with that, Breeny?
You want to start?
Okay, I'll start.
I start saying you.
I don't mind. Okay, well, this is the both of us anyway. Like I said before, there will be moments where, you know, you will feel like you're maybe distant from God, simply because of life. Life happens, and sometimes you get knocks, you get struggles. Maybe, you know, someone has passed and you don't understand. You know, I've spoken about in my videos before where you know, I lost my best friend a couple of years ago, and for me that was the hardest moment in my entire life. And I would guarantee you right now, me and God had our struggles, because I was questioning God so much. I was like, why would you do this to me? Why would you allow something like this to happen? I even came back with verses that you said you will never forsake us. How can you, do you know what I mean? So life happens, and you will have moments whereby, you know, you feel that you're not at that place. But the way in which now I have stayed consistent is that whole idea of being active. Because I realized that, okay, I can be miserable and I can sit back, God is waiting for me to do something about it. I have to be active in the sense that, do you know what? If I really love this God and I say that I love this God, I have to make sure that I pursue him. I go to him. I read the word. I pray to him. Do you know what I mean? I have to be active in that sense. So I would definitely say to you is be active. Please be proactive. You know, even if it means, you know, watching sermons. One thing that really helps me now, watching sermons, TG Jakes, is
all the time.
The G of all G's. Like, I watch his sermons all the time.
All the time.
I love them. Just little things that I know that will be able to help me to keep me aligned with God. I also make sure that before, I never used to fast and pray. As of last year was the year where I was like, nah, fasting and praying is a must. When I say to you, it is a guaranteed must for any Christian. You have to, because it just realigns you with God and it allows you to focus on him. Because imagine you're not eating, so you're conscious of the fact that you're not eating, but then you remember why you're not eating. Okay, so we'll do 2 more. One more. We'll do one. Because this video is gonna end up way too long, guys. Way too long. So the next question is from Jennifer, and Jennifer says, "Hey Nissy, I have a question. By the way, I adore you. Love you too." And it says, "So I aspire to be a TV host one day, but my family is trying to hinder it. I'm guessing I have a YouTube channel and so many video ideas out of my comfort zone, but they always hit me with the 'you're too young' answer. I'm 18 and Nigerian. So basically, how do I break free and be my own person and chase my dreams? Chase my dreams how I want to without being rude or stubborn." Breeny, I think first I'll ask you that. Did your family ever hinder you in terms of what you wanted to do?
No, that's one of the things that I am actually so grateful for, that my mum let me be me. She let me spread my wings, experiment, do whatever I wanted to do. So I never really had that resistance, which I do wish I had direction, but she did allow me to do whatever I put my heart to do, and she always supported me. She's always there. She was always concerned. So for me, that wasn't a problem. What about you?
I think with myself, I never really had an issue. There was one incident, which I've spoken about before, whereby my dad basically made a very quick comment and was like, "Oh, well, why don't you do something that makes money?" And for me, that was kind of hurtful. But, you know, it was a small comment. It is what it is. One thing that I would say though is I didn't even allow it to get to that point. Why? Because I always compromised. So if especially you're a student and you're 18, so I'm guessing that you're in just like college, uni? You would have just started uni, I think. If you can do this will help you so much. If you can ensure that your grades are good while you're still doing all your other stuff, no one can say to you, you can't do something, because you're proving that I can study and I can make sure that I'm still staying on top of my work, but I can still do everything else. And that was one thing that I always did as a kid. So I started all the stuff that I do now very young. I started like 15, 16, but I always made sure I was still getting good grades. I was still, you know, just making sure that I was there academically, so that my parents could never say, "Oh look, but it's hindering you," or whatever. I always made sure that I, in a way, made them happy as well, because, you know, they want me to do well academically. So
I think you just have to play school. Like, you have to play school. You have to go through it. Just do it. Actually, like, this is necessary for me to be able to do what I want to do. So you give them what they want, and you can do what you want afterwards. And it's also a great discipline as well. Before I used to be like, "Oh, forget college, forget university or whatever." I'm still kind of but I'm just
it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, you know, but at the same time, it's a great lesson of discipline, of accountability, of respecting those that are above you and stuff. So don't be so quick to just run out and do your own thing, because most of the time it's not as easy as it looks as well. Working for yourself isn't that easy. It may look, you may see all the glitz and the gams of it, but you have to be very disciplined to be freelance, to work for yourself. You have to be very, very disciplined, have your life in order, have a plan. And also as well, if you want to convince your Nigerian family, you need to be very specific. You need to write it down. This is why. What did you want to do? TV host.
Be a TV host, so media. Like, I'm guessing
you want to do a little bit of research. So you want to say, "Oh look, this is a presenter that I know called Nissytee, and look how she's done it. You know how she's
if I can help, use
how
me.
She's found her way." Do you know what I mean? Just find examples of people that have done it and have made money from it. Some celebrities start off as TV hosts, they go into something else. So just kind of have that research done and show them how it can make money, and then you never know what can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you know a Nigerian parent, they definitely still want you to do
This is just African full stop. A lot of the times our parents like really push education on us, and believe it or not, it doesn't come from a bad place. It's just from a place of love, because a lot of our parents didn't have the opportunities that we did. They didn't get to have the access to education the way that we do. So they obviously just see it as like, wow, like my child is in this country, they can do so much, because education is very important. It's not for everyone, but it's very important. So don't see it like they're doing it out of a place of they just want to hinder me, they just want to stop me. They're doing it because they care about you. So just find a way to compromise, and find a way to ensure that, you know, you're not just running away and being stubborn and being horrible and being rude, but having a plan is key. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, even I said, and I'm someone that's in media, but I was talking to a friend and I said, if my child came to me and said that I'm not going to do uni, I'm not going to do all of this, but I want to do this, you better come with a 30-page PowerPoint explanation as to why. And it's not because I'm trying to hinder you, but it's because I want to ensure that you are planning properly. You're not just saying, I'm going to do it and then just expect for it to fall on your lap. You know, that you have a plan, that you know what you're doing, and that if you're not going to, you know, go down the traditional route, show me why not. Show me what you can gain. Show me that you know what you're doing. So, and take time. You have plenty of time. One thing that I came to realize, there is plenty of time. I used to rush as well. Plenty of time. Anyway, beautiful people, this video will it's probably long already. I don't really know how this is gonna work out, but we could go on forever and ever and ever. But I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Blessings, the viewers.
She's just so fabulous.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for coming on the channel. Thank you so much for watching.
I hope you guys liked it, the advice. Do you stay true, be fabulous.
That's it. Thank you. Stay true to yourself. Know who you are and be confident in what you are doing.
And take your time.
Take your time. And so in both career aspects and in terms of faith, it's something that takes time.
Everything takes time.
Growth is a journey. So don't rush.
Yes.
So yeah. But thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.
Bye guys.
Stay beautiful.
Don't do the things you used to do. Don't even say I love you too. And lately,
oh damn.
I think it's lately.
Wait, I think it's big.
I've been feeling